Inflation is outpacing our wage increases, and the value of our dollar is being eaten alive. Right now, week on week, we are struggling more than ever. As Gen Z, we are struggling. We can't afford homes. We can't do any of this. And it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get harder from here. And we need to do something now before it is too late. Firstly, I want to explain inflation because I see a lot of stuff online where there's young people complaining about the cost of living and how inflation is just ridiculous. And as much as I agree, I also see these same people commenting saying, I can't wait for prices to come down. I can't wait for this to stop. And I'm going to explain to you that that's not going to happen. The dollar is forever going to decrease in value. As long as the money printer is on every single day, printing more money, it means the supply of money means there's more out there with the same demand. It means the value of it is less. So to make it real simple, if you have $100 today, that may get you 20 pieces of bread from the grocery store. Next year, that $100 may only get you 19 pieces of bread. In 2 years' time, it may only get you 18. But my point is, year on year, $100 is going to get you less and less and less. It's not going to slow down. Cost of living is not just going to go back to 10, 20 years ago. That's not how this stuff works. And to sum that up, it is only going to get worse. Okay, you need to do something now before you are wiped out by inflation. And that thing is not work more of your job or get better at your job, because your job and your salary, it can no longer keep up with inflation and the cost of living. Your measly $2,000 to $5,000 a year pay rise, it's not doing anything for you. When you take into account inflation, you're actually making less the year after. Year on year, your wage is getting wiped out. You can afford less and less every single year. And ultimately soon, within 5 to 10 years, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're completely wiped out of the game, and it's because you reacted too late. So to avoid being in that position where you reacted too late and you're forever stuck and a slave to the system, essentially, what you need to do now, instead of complaining, instead of hoping the government gives you a handout or waiting for someone else to come save you, you need to take responsibility for your current situation and where you're going to end up in your life, and start making decisions that are proactive to get ahead of this. The current system we have in place is set up for you to become an internal slave. No longer does the traditional path work. We're all told, go to school, get good grades, go to university or go get an apprenticeship, go get a good job, put money in your superannuation or your 401k, and you'll be all good. Now, this advice is coming from adults who, yes, 40, 30, 50 years ago, this advice was good advice and it worked, because you could have a single father providing for a wife who could stay at home, kids who could go get good education, have a nice house, have good cars. And that advice was perfectly fine. But this advice now is a losing formula. And this losing formula is going to equal a life where you cannot afford anything and you're going to work your life away as a slave for the system. And this system is breaking in real time. You can see online how much people are complaining about the cost of living, how much people are struggling with mortgage repayments, how much people are struggling with rent. And if you think this is bad now, wait till you see what happens in 5, 10 years' time of mass inflation, of cost of living crisis keeping on going on, because it's not going to stop. So what I'm trying to tell you is if your mind is still stuck in the traditional system where you think you can get a job and you'll be okay, I'm here to tell you, you need to start panicking, because if you keep this mindset and you adopt this mindset and keep taking actions that align with that, you're going to end up fucked. And what I mean by fucked is, if you don't do anything now before it is too late, your life is genuinely going to be set up for slavery for the rest of it. So how do we escape slavery, and how do we escape the path the system has set up for us before it is too late? You need to do more of the right things. Now, what are the right things? As many of you probably do not know if you still have that same mindset where you're stuck in the traditional ways. The right things are self-education on money, investing, skill sets, business, real estate and crypto. Any of these things here, educate yourself on these topics. And the reason you need to educate yourself on these topics is because getting really good at your job and doing lots of hours and becoming the best employee is no longer going to be able to set you free. There is not enough money in a salary when you take into effect how expensive the economy is for it to do anything for you. So to be able to break free, we need to be able to educate ourselves on topics that have a higher ROI than the rate of inflation. And those topics are the ones I mentioned before. So your skill sets, the information you have, your knowledge, in your investments. This is how we beat inflation and how we beat the cost of living crisis whilst we still can. The more valuable you become to the marketplace through your skill sets, through your knowledge, through the information you have, and then the better people you know, the better your network, the better your investments. It guarantees you can achieve financial freedom and financial abundance to the highest level. And once you can achieve this, it means the system is no longer working against you, where you're getting wiped out by inflation. You can start using the system to work for you, where inflation is helping you. And your skill sets are compounding, and your network is compounding. You have more access to more money. And this can only be achieved through becoming a person of value, becoming a person who understands money, who understands investing, understands business, understands crypto, real estate, and having key skill sets that are valuable to the marketplace. If you don't know these topics here and you don't know how to play the game, you're going to be set up to live a very, very, very mediocre and dull existence for the rest of your life. And you need to act now before it is too late. So I hope that video there provides you some value, and it starts creating an urgency within you to act now about your financial future. You might be 20 years old, you might be 25 years old right now, and you still live at home, or you don't have any kids, and financially you're doing well, which is absolutely fine. But there will be a day in 5, 10, 15, 20 years where you're fucked. So you need to start acting now. What I've mentioned in this video, where you're working your skill sets, this is how you get ahead. When you're working on your information you have, the knowledge you have, your investments, this is how you get ahead and can beat the curve. Now, thank you very much for watching the video. If you did enjoy, please check out my latest video just here as well. I make plenty of content on money, entrepreneurship, self-development, all this stuff as well. So there's plenty of value for you to get out of this. And if you did enjoy, I would appreciate you subscribing. The channel's been growing fairly good lately, and I want to keep that momentum going. Thank you very much for watching the video.